What's up, guys? Today is day 235 of Deadlift Everyday, and today was by far the toughest day of the week. The program called for 15 singles at 72.5% on the Zercher deadlift, and while that by itself doesn't sound that tough, if you take into account all the previous sessions of this week, which started with 3 singles on Monday and ended with 15 singles today, you may understand why this session was the toughest. And no, it is not only because today I had to do the most amount of singles. It is because of the fatigue which is built up over the course of the week. I mean, it's not so much the weight that becomes much of a challenge, because 72.5% of a conservative max is still not very heavy, but it is keeping your body fully engaged, which is the challenge. That is both mentally and physically. It seems that everything you do suddenly requires way more energy than before. Usually, keeping my brace is challenging, but not that it leaves me out of breath just after a single rep. The same goes for keeping my positioning on the descent. Usually I can control the weight down to the floor pretty effortlessly. Now I have to focus very hard to do the same thing. It just all takes way more effort. And don't get me wrong, I know this is part of the process, so I am not complaining, not at all. But it is something to keep in mind when you set up your training like this, even with very submaximal weights. Now luckily tomorrow we will bring down the number of sets again to 3 and we up the weight to 75%. So the fatigue will quickly dissipate. Another benefit of having to do less sets on the Zercher deadlift tomorrow is that I can add in another exercise, which will probably be the weighted push-up. Last week I did 11 sets of 3 with 18 kilos in the weighted vest, so I will see if I can beat that in some way or another. This may be by adding in some extra sets or adding a rep to last week's sets. The only requirement I have is that I stay well within that comfort zone, so it will all be based on how I feel tomorrow. Now before I end this video, I still wanted to add that I have started doing some very controlled chin-ups again. I want to see if I can build up some resiliency there, so I can start adding weight to them soon. I still have some goals for the weighted chin-up, so I have to make sure that my body is ready for it too. So let's see how that plays out. Alright guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.